Hi, this is Reece Healey, and welcome to another segment of Tell Me a Story in 2 Minutes. We're going to continue with Chapter 2 with my book, Into Thin Air. So here we go. Sit back, get your favorite beverage or snack, and sit back and relax. Even though Michael was determined to find Christine, he wasn't quite sure where to start. Going to the police was definitely out of the question because he knew they would do very little to assist. So he felt this was something he should take on himself without any interference otherwise. Perhaps he didn't quite know where to start, but damn, he knew he had to call her family. Hell, it could be quite possible that she could be hiding out at her parents' house. After all, nothing in the news indicated that a female with Christine's physical description had been found. Or there was that remote possibility that she could have been abducted. But who would want to take Christine and under what pretenses? None of it made any sense. Or could Christine have been the victim of foul play, her body buried in some remote location, never to be found? Michael didn't want to explore that possibility, mainly because he refused to believe it. Somehow, some way, he would find her because he was certain that she was still alive. He planned to start throughout the neighborhood, so he went door to door asking those within a mile radius of where they lived if anyone had seen her. Naturally, nobody had seen her. Some didn't know who she was. Michael was so sure someone had seen her leave the house, but to no avail. Michael then began to consider calling her family, as they lived an hour outside of town, and he guessed it was quite possible she would be there. As it turned out, Christine's mother ended up calling out of the blue. Coincidence? Michael didn't think so. So when she asked to speak to Christine, he simply said that she had gone away for a couple of days to see her girlfriend. It became obvious to Michael that Christine was not hiding out with her parents, and after he had conjured up the story of Christine being away, she never questioned it. Michael knew she would try her cell phone, which, by the way, she was not answering through his many attempts. Nobody these days felt it was unusual to get voicemail while one was away. Michael felt this would buy him some time to try to find her before her family became suspicious. Michael had also contacted Christine's office to let them know that she had taken sick leave. This would buy him even more time to find her. And then some strange phone calls came. Michael had received at least a dozen calls from various individuals who were asking for Christine and inquiring about her whereabouts. Before Michael could make up a story about her being away, he was flooded with many tips regarding her whereabouts. Michael received calls from those telling him Christine had been spotted in Montreal, while others claimed to have seen her on the outskirts of Vancouver. Michael didn't believe Christine had any friends or family in any of those locations, but he couldn't be sure. He didn't feel it would be any less unusual for Christine to keep certain details from him. But still, what would make her get up and leave without so much as a hint or clue? Michael felt he had to take every lead seriously and explore every possibility of Christine's. It was true that Michael was worried, but he also couldn't help but feel angry that his beloved wife, his best friend, could betray him, most likely leading another life he knew absolutely nothing about. Then again, this was only speculation on his part. The truth was, he just didn't know. Michael was determined to get the truth one way or another. He was still convinced that Christine was alive and well, somewhere living a life that he was not aware of. He then made the decision to take a trip to Montreal as soon as possible and get to the bottom of the mystery of his missing wife. And through all the stress of not knowing where she was, Michael was not giving himself some time to consider the fact that she either wasn't coming back or, worse yet, didn't want to come back. It was indeed a tough pill to swallow, but Michael knew he had to face a harsh truth. He refused to give in to those thoughts. Regardless, he was going to find her, dead or alive, and get the answers he so richly deserved. What had he done to deserve this? Perhaps Michael didn't know Christine as well as he thought he had. Christine was perhaps the only individual Michael truly trusted, and now in a blink of an eye, that trust had dissipated, without warning, no less. Michael was now more determined than ever to find out where Christine was. He marched into their bedroom, grabbed a couple of suitcases, packed at least a week's worth of clothes, and booked a hotel room to begin his own investigation. And with bags in tow, cell phone and keys in hand, he walked out the door to find a note sitting on his front porch. It read, "I know where she is." He looked at the note again, which was scribbled on letterhead from a Holiday Inn in Pointe-Claire, Quebec, a mostly English-speaking city in the suburbs outside Montreal. Michael took the note and shoved it in his duffel bag, got in his car, and drove off. Well, that's it for Chapter 2. Thank you for joining me and Tell Me a Story in 2 Minutes. Soon to follow, Chapter 3.